Throughout the majority of human history, there was a prevailing belief that our world was the ultimate reality. However, with the advent of philosophy and science, our understanding evolved, revealing that Earth is merely one of 8 planets orbiting our Sun. It took considerable time for us to grasp the vastness of galaxies and comprehend that the shimmering lights in the night sky are actually distant suns, each potentially accompanied by a multitude of worlds that might serve as potential habitats for extraterrestrial life. Welcome to our highly epic topics channel, where we bring you informative and engaging content on a variety of subjects. Join us as we explore the enigmatic Fermi Paradox, the search for habitable planets, and the profound questions surrounding the existence of intelligent civilizations beyond Earth. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button to stay tuned for more exciting videos like this.
Then we didn't know of any planets beyond our solar system because we hadn't detected them. So even if we thought, well, we can't be special, we didn't know. And then in the early 1990s, we started being able to detect planets. And now we've detected well over 3,000. We've got missions up there like the Kepler telescope that are just trying to detect planets. So thousands of them. So now the statement is that pretty much every star in the sky will have planets around it, which is remarkable. If you go out, it's a clear night, you go out and look at stars, you can imagine that there will be solar systems around every one. So that allows us to start thinking how many potentially Earth-like planets might there be in the Milky Way galaxy? And the answer is about 20 billion. What you mean there is a rocky planet, the right distance from its star, possibly, if everything's right, to have liquid water on the surface and so on. In a nice distance from the star, perhaps 1 in 10 stars. We talk about a thing called the habitable zone. Now in the solar system there are 3 planets in the habitable zone. There's Venus, Mars and Earth. Venus is close to the Sun, Mars further away. All of those planets, though, we think had water on the surface. So they all could have been habitable in that sense. And still, we're looking for life on Mars to this day.
Undoubtedly, the discovery of life on Mars would rank among the most monumental achievements in human history. However, if there is indeed life on Mars, the consensus among most scientists is that it likely exists in the form of microbial organisms. While the existence of such microbial life would be significant, the real game changer, the kind of life that has the potential to revolutionize our understanding of the universe, is multicellular life, plants, animals, and the like. Fortunately for us, within our solar system, there exists a promising location that could potentially harbor such complex forms of life. Within the realm of Jupiter's moon Europa, NASA is diligently preparing for the forthcoming Europa Clipper mission, set to be launched in October 2024 and expected to reach its destination in 2030. The mission's primary objective is to conduct 4 years' worth of scientific observations on Europa, a moon that exhibits compelling indications of a subsurface ocean composed of liquid water concealed beneath its icy surface. Consequently, Europa stands as an exceptionally promising candidate for exploration, holding the potential to provide evidence of extraterrestrial life that extends beyond the confines of our own solar system. Presently, our technological limitations make it exceedingly challenging, if not outright impossible, to dispatch space probes capable of detecting signs of alien life. Consider, for instance, Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our Sun, which lies approximately 4.2 light-years away. Such vast distances necessitate alternative approaches, including our endeavors to remain stationary while attentively listening for radio signals, or directing our telescopes toward exoplanets in search of telltale signs known as biosignatures. Undoubtedly, the most captivating and intriguing facet of potential extraterrestrial life revolves around the notion of intelligence. Given our current rate of progress and technological advancement, estimations suggest that a civilization could conceivably colonize the entire galaxy within a span of 10 million years. Yet, the profound question lingers: If this were indeed the case, where is everyone?
The flip side of this is there are loads of planets out there, and there's been loads of time. This has got a name, actually. It's called the Fermi Paradox, after someone called Enrico Fermi, a great Italian physicist, who asked this very simple question, which is, where are they? Because given the number of planets, given the number of stars, and given the amount of time in this galaxy for complex life to emerge, it seems as if at least a few civilizations should have become a spacefaring civilization. So part of the evidence, part of the great conundrum here, is that, so on the one side, yes, we've got the history of life on Earth, which says that we took a long time to emerge, and so it looked quite like an unlikely process. On the other side, you've got all this real estate, and you have this. So if you think about where we could go, what could we become as a civilization? So already we are becoming a spacefaring civilization now very quickly. So give us 1,000 years. We don't destroy ourselves or do anything stupid. I'm sure we're going to be on Mars, we're going to be on the moon, we're going to be thinking perhaps taking our first steps out to the stars. Give us 1,000,000 years, 1,000,000 from now. If we survive, we should become a spacefaring civilization. Now, 1,000,000 years, the galaxy has been around for the age of the universe, 12, 13 billion years. So it only takes a few civilizations to have evolved a bit ahead of us. 1,000,000 years. Well, let's say 1,000,000,000 years. 1,000,000,000 years is still nothing. You get some civilizations that evolved 1,000,000,000 years before us. Why can't we see them? So then people start saying, well, maybe there's a finite life that all civilizations have. Maybe they destroy themselves. Maybe they don't become spacefaring civilization.
A potential explanation for the Fermi paradox is the concept of the Great Filter. This hypothesis posits that during the progression of life, from its earliest stages of abiogenesis to reaching advanced development on the Kardashian scale, there exists a significant barrier that makes the existence of detectable extraterrestrial life exceedingly rare. This barrier may potentially arise from self-destructs or other limiting factors. To gain insights into the Great Filter, the evolution of telescopes capable of detecting techno-signatures becomes crucial. If planets with techno-signatures are found to be abundant, it would increase confidence that the Great Filter lies in the past. Conversely, if life is widespread but techno-signatures are absent, it would suggest that the Great Filter lies in the future. Another intriguing hypothesis that has gained attention in recent times suggests that if an extraterrestrial species becomes sufficiently advanced to send detectable signals, it is likely to transition away from traditional biological forms and evolve into a machine intelligence. Within this hypothesis, it is speculated that a fully digital civilization may simply lack interest in colonizing the galaxy. Another solution to the Fermi paradox, popular among UFO enthusiasts, is the so-called zoo hypothesis. This proposition suggests that we are being covertly observed without our knowledge. Additionally, there exists a rather disheartening solution to the Fermi paradox, which suggests that we are the first intelligent civilization to emerge in our galaxy, and that we will be long extinct before any other civilizations come into being.
What's interesting is when you talk to astronomers, they say that we estimate there are 20 billion potentially Earth-like planets out there in our galaxy. Surely there must be life all over the place. Right, it's a guess because we haven't found any anywhere. But what we know from the history of life on Earth is that life began pretty much as soon as it could here on Earth. So we have good evidence that life was around, let's say, 3.8 billion years ago. So pretty much as soon as the Earth had formed and the oceans formed on the Earth, you see evidence of life. So that might give you a sense that the origin of life on a planet might be a high probability, right, given the right conditions, just because of what we see on Earth. But this is really important. Well, when did complex life appear? So not just single cell, animals and plants. And the evidence of complex multicellular things on Earth goes back, let's say, 600 million years or so, not much further than that. So it's within the last billion. So on Earth, what happened was that there were single cell things doing interesting stuff, photosynthesis and things, but for let's say 3 billion years from the origin of life, nothing else. Not much going on. Slime. The last billion, half a billion-ish, right? Do you see complex life? So it took about, around a third of the age of the universe on Earth to go from the origin of life to something that can think. The star was stable and didn't run out of fuel, and the orbit of the planet was stable. It didn't get hit by too many asteroids. So I think that if you start asking for stability for billions of years, if that's what it takes typically to go from the origin of life to something that can think, then there are very few places indeed. There's a thing called the eukaryotic cell, right, which is what we're made of. And every complex living thing on the planet is made of. Every plant, every blade of grass, every insect. So it looks like those things evolved once on this planet. What happened is one type of more primitive cell, a bacteria in this case, got inside another kind of cell called an archaea. Got inside and didn't die, and somehow managed to multiply like that. And it looks like that's the origin of all complex life on Earth. So when you see things like that, when you start seeing the things that had to happen to make us, you start to think that this place may be extremely special. And you can make the argument, and I do actually, I think it's very important politically as well, that this could be the only planet in our galaxy currently that has anything on it that can think. If we are the only planet currently in the Milky Way where brains exist, where conscious thought exists, we are the only place where meaning exists in a galaxy of 400 billion stars. Imagine if we decide to press the button tomorrow, nuclear war, right? We press the button. The person who does that might wipe out meaning in a galaxy.
Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? Then show your support by subscribing and ringing the bell to never miss videos like this.
If you have more time which you want to spend for more knowledge presented in an amazing way, click here before the video end.